JD, this is a pretty high-powered offense that you faced tonight. Just your summation of what you guys were able to accomplish against them.
Yep. It was nothing that we didn't know was coming, and I mean the biggest thing is just missed opportunities. There's too many times where the ball's on the ground and we need to get that. There's too many times where we're doing really well, and then we might let up a big shot, or we're doing really well, and then it's third and long, and we're letting up those big runs and things like that. And so it's those little details that we need to focus on.
It appeared that you had at least one turnover tonight. Just what level of frustration have you guys reached as a defense with just a couple turnovers caused through halfway through the season?
Yeah, I mean, obviously it's very frustrating. And it goes back to, there's too many opportunities just there where, the ball was on the ground probably 3-4 times this game. And so it's that pursuit to the ball and making sure that everyone's getting to the ball so when it is on the ground, we're able to recover it. And, it's just missed opportunities there.
Front row on your right, Pete Sampson.
JD, when Marcus was up here, he talked about tonight was kind of a night where the defense had to play perfect. And I was interested, what kind of pressure that creates on a defense when you feel like you have to be perfect every snap.
Yeah, it's just little details that we're missing out. And so, it's just guys being out of their gaps and things like that. And so it's obviously frustrating for us. We just need to look at ourselves. There's spots where we can do better and where we can hold this team to not getting those extra field goals, even just those 10-yard runs or just them getting out of bounds, 10-yard pass out of bounds before the second half. It's those little plays that make a difference. And so just being able to get TFLs or just being able to get negative yards or no yards right there and just making sure that they stay in bounds.
So I guess when a coach says, you got to be perfect, that doesn't create any kind of, tightness or pressure or anything of that nature?
No, I don't think the overall message to us is that we have to be perfect. It's, we need to make sure we're executing, and, as long as everybody does their job, we will be perfect in some sense. And obviously, they're on scholarship too, and they'll make some plays, but we will make more plays than they will as long as everyone does their job.
Third row in the middle, Lynn Clark.
JD, as a leader, what will you and the other captains need to do to help the coaches help the team execute next week?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing is it needs to start with the off-the-field stuff. Obviously we don't have class next week, but it's the classroom stuff. It's the details in the locker room. It's making sure everything we do is cleaning up after ourselves. Our meeting rooms are clean because we don't want the lack of detail in different parts of our lives going into football. And so I think it's hard to say that you can slack off in one area of your life, but then be perfect in football. And so I think as leaders, that's going to be my main message, and I think the captains will agree with that.
You talk about Prince Colley filling in for Bo Bauer this week.
Yeah, it's definitely exciting to see him out there, get some plays, and obviously gain trust from the coaches. And he's doing a really good job, and it's exciting to see him develop.
Mike Bernardino, middle, second row.
They'd had a hard time protecting that quarterback tonight. I think just the one early sack and then maybe 3 hurries. What was it like trying to get pressure on him? Why were they able to protect him better? They did have a couple guys come back. I realize that.
Yeah, we understand that. They didn't have the strongest O-line, and we felt that our D-line was very dominant against them. And, they were smart about it by doing that slow RPO, by being able to hold us there, and then also being able to move the pocket and use a lot of quick games so that we can't actually get back there. And so we just need to make sure that we can bring the pressure. And, in some regards, the little details like mirror hands and things like that, so we get blocked balls at the line of scrimmage to create turnovers and just opportunities where turnovers can't exist.
And then what was it like for you, having been the guy who caused the turnover, to watch that long replay? I don't know if you have a chance to see just where his knee was. You're knocking the ball out, but what was that weight like, and what was your shock level when it goes against you?
Obviously it goes from high to low, but I think we did a good job just knowing that hey, we're gonna have to go again no matter what, and so I think we did end up getting a stop on that drive and just making sure that that's our next. It's just forward looking, one play, one life. That play's over. Okay, we need to know what we can do to get off the field.
Second row, right.
JD, what's your personal frustration level like for this season? Obviously, here you guys are at 3-3. You had 2 games where you get knocked out because of targeting. How tough has this been for you individually?
Yeah, it's obviously tough, but there's things to learn from it. And, whether it's individually from my play, just style of tackling, all of that, there's obviously things to learn from. But, it's just tough to have 3-3, and there's obviously details where we need to make sure that we clean up and just go forward from here. And take UNLV as serious as possible because, I mean, every opponent's good at this point and every win counts.
And then back row, Tim O'Malley.
Katie, you mentioned cleaning up the details. Is that something you see during the practice week that you feel is lacking at times, or is that just a byproduct of when you have 4 or 5 good plays and then they hit one for 38 yards, they hit one for 12 yards or 5 yards? Is it kind of in retrospect, or is it something you see that creeps into practice weeks?
I mean, I think we had an awesome practice this week, and obviously we do need to go back and look back, and there's details. I mean, it just goes back to the little details, and there's areas where we do need to perfect that, but I think it was a great game plan, and we had a great execution throughout practice, and it's just looking at the game and finding those little areas to improve.